Aloha. Thanks for joining me. This is Darci Frankel from the Ayurveda Center of Hawaii and the Hanalei Day Spa, giving you a little video before my morning spring swim. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's happening Ayurvedically. According to Ayurveda, we are transitioning into springtime. Now, spring is when the cold of winter starts to thaw, when the weather, it's like there's a liquefying that's happening in our bodies. The ice is thawing, it's raining, there's lots of fun things blooming, there's lots of movement and change happening. So one of the notions, as I see it, is in Ayurveda we're really good surfers. We try to be. We like to ride the wave in the direction it's going. We utilize the current energy skillfully. And so that's what's happening. So I want to teach you how to do that. A couple of great tricks and tips on how to eliminate the excess doshas or bodily humors which accumulate in the body, the elements of excess water, excess cold, dampness that tend to stagnate in the tissues. So you want to start to mobilize and move those out. So let's see, how can I give you a deeper cut of this? So we use guna, or quality, in Ayurveda. So the main quality of wintertime is cold. What is cold? Cold contracts. Cold, to describe the cold quality, the cold is, it's cold, it's heavy, it's dense, it's cloudy. These are all the qualities of the winter. So as we transition we don't just go from winter to summer, we go winter, spring, and then summer. So what starts to happen is, again, there's there's a warming effect, so an expansion, and a liquefaction that happens. So one of the things that we want to do to avoid getting the common colds and flus that can happen when this energy stagnates. See, a lot of times people get sick in the spring and they don't really realize, well, what's happening? What's happening is the body needs to move. There's corners of the body, of the energy that gets blocked, and it needs to move fluidly. So one of the things I'm going to share with you today on how to do that in our body is to do dry brushing. You could do dry brushing a lot of ways. Use one of the body brushes. My favorite are these gloves. I've had these gloves forever, and you can pop them in the washing machine. Do you see them? You can even put them in the washing machine. You could do them dry or wet. I use them either way. And what you want to do is use these brisk movements, nice open palm, brisk movements moving towards the lymphatic system, pumps in through the armpits, in through here. There's all these ducts of lymph that go through here, down the chest, the armpits again, into the inguinal region in the center, down the center of the body, and underneath the inside of the knee. So we want to really work that. You could spend some time, and when your tissues get nice and pink, that's a good time to stop. You can even see my skin is starting to get a little bit pink here. It's nice. So I'm just pushing the lymphatic tissue towards where the duct is, so it pumps the lymph. There's 3 ways that the lymph moves. Do you know what they are? You're doing one of them. 2 of them. Massage, breathing, and exercise. Those are the only 3 ways that the lymph system moves. it doesn't have a pump on its own, so it gets stagnant, particularly in the springtime. So we want to move that. So again, let's see, here on the neck, you want to push down, pushing down, getting caught on my necklace. So you get the idea. Go through the whole body in this way, the back, shoulders, and just work until you get nice pink. And what we're doing is pushing the lymphatic system here to pump, to circulate blood as well as the lymph. We're also facilitating the skin to be cleansed here. The skin, as you know, is the largest organ. A lot of people don't know is that the skin digests. We digest everything that we put on our body. So if you can't pronounce it, if you wouldn't eat it, don't put it on your skin. Another thing I have here is this kus grass little loofah. So you can use the loofah to do this. You can use your gloves. You can use a body brush. The fundamental tenet here is to create stimulation and to draw the lymph in towards the actual ducts where it pumps and moves and circulates. So there's that. If you happen to have a Gua Sha, which is a really great tool, you can use that as well. And you just push that up and down in the same way we use the gloves. It's like a spatula. Do you see? I'll leave a link as to where you can get a Gua Sha. Gua Sha is actually a Chinese tool to move Gua Sha, to move bad energy, literally. You can see my skin is turning nice and pink. And you'll feel, you can even actually feel with the Gua Sha where the lymph is stagnant. So I want to talk a little bit more about lymph right now. Lymph is a tissue in the body. It's one of the tissues. There's 7 tissues in the body. In order from superficial to deep, they are rasa or plasma, rakta, rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asti, majja, and artava or shukra. Rasa is the plasma, plasma or lymph. And then rakta is the blood, mamsa is muscle tissue, so rakta mamsa, meda, fat, asti, the bone, and majja is the nervous system, and artava or shukra is the reproductive system. So the lymphatic system is very superficial in the body, and if it's not moving, you're stagnant. And you might not even know you're stagnant. So this is a really great way to get unstuck in your life. If you're feeling stuck in your life, do this lymph practice. Get your lymph moving. As you do it, breathe deeply. Spend 5 to 10 minutes and just really, really get your skin pink. And as you breathe deeply, you want to hydrate a lot before and hydrate a lot after as well. Another piece is you want to do this on not on a full stomach, but not on an empty stomach. So about 20-30 minutes away from food. It's a really great practice. And again, as you do this, breathe deeply and just feel like you're, cleansing and letting go, enabling and facilitating that action. So one of the things that when we start to move our lymphatics, when we start to move this tissue in our body, there's a feeling, a flavor of gentle fluid movement that happens. And gosh, I think it was about 6 or something years ago, I got interested into this technology that actually uses these noble gases and specifically moves the lymphatic system. And I've done about 15 or so sessions, and I really got in touch with my lymph. I wasn't dry brushing. I wasn't doing it in the way that I'm showing you. It was a different modality, and I really loved it. And I got in touch with lymph in my body and a certain type of flow in circulation in my life that I hadn't been in touch with before. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because what started to happen was, as I was going through these sessions, I had one a week for, this series of 7 weeks. And as I was going through these sessions, I started to experience, wow, things in my life are really circulating. And I noticed I started naturally doing things like clearing out stagnant places in my home, clearing out, little piles of things in my office. Do you have those? Now is really a good time to take a look at the stagnant places in your body, in your home, in your life, and to create a little circulation. Spring cleaning. It's built into our Western vernacular. People clean in the spring. Why? Because things have become stagnant over the winter. So we want to get that circulation in our lives. We want to move things. We want to get ourselves ready for what's next. What's next in your life? What's exciting? And how can you handle pieces in your life, handle little piles or little messes, so that we can get ready for what's next, the beautiful, bright days of summer. I know you all are probably really excited to see some videos outside and see Kauai, and I'll definitely do that for you in the future. But I wanted to get you some of these pieces today on spring and spring cleaning before I go off to my morning swim. So let's just recap. So we want to circulate. Remember, there's this cold energy. So we want to circulate that using movement. And we're also using the quality of dryness. We'll talk more consistently about guna and qualities as we go on. You'll see it's this kind of common thread that I utilize in my practice and in my sharing and teachings. So we're counteracting the stagnation using movement, using dryness as well. And the other guna that we're going to talk about is warmth. So one way we're creating the warmth with the friction of the whatever we're using on our skin. You'll see, my skin's nice and warm right now. One of the herbs I want to talk about today is, it's full-on kitchen medicine. You have it in your kitchen, I bet. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is awesome. It's really great kitchen medicine, and it's warming. It is not too heating, like cayenne is really, really heating. It's not going to create inflammation in your body or increase the heat or pitta in your body, but cinnamon will create a nice warmth. It helps with circulation. Cinnamon helps digestion, assimilation. It helps to eliminate gas and bloating. It's really good for the cardiovascular system. It balances both vata and kapha through its warm guna or quality. And the other thing is that it's not stimulating like I mentioned, cayenne on the extreme heating. Cinnamon is slightly warming, and it's sattvic, which means it's calming. It's not stimulating to the mind or to the senses, and ultimately we get enough stimulation in our minds. So experiment with using cinnamon. You can use it along with ginger or just a pinch in hot water, or a pinch in your water bottle, and try that for a week. See how that works. We'll probably move on and experiment with some other herbs. But even adding cinnamon, I add cinnamon in my curries sometimes, or just as a very simple, subtle, yet profound and distinct taste in your food this week. So experiment with that. Dry brushing, skin brushing, if you have a Gua Sha or the loofah or the handheld, I'm sure you've seen them, the handheld dry brushing. We're focusing on dry brushing right now. So those are some of your tips. The last one I'm going to share with you is our good old friend, Neti. The reason I share Neti is because we want to support the respiratory system right now during the springtime. You can use, always use warm water. Test it to see that it's the right temperature. And if you're going to add something, my favorite is this infused salt rinse. This they call their cold and flu blend. You don't necessarily have to have a cold or flu to use it. However, I like it. It has French Atlantic sea salt, cedarwood, palmarosa, and some different herbs in it, and essential oils, which really help strengthen the respiratory system. I'm not going to physically do the Neti, but I will talk you through it. You breathe in and out through your mouth as you're doing this. Lean forward slightly. You place the Neti pot into one nostril. Relax. Lean forward. Tilt your head. So you're essentially pouring in one side, the top, and you relax as it pours out the bottom. You blow, wipe if you need to, and switch sides. You can do this. I taught my 10-year-old Hanalei daughter when she was 9 how to do it. She did it beautifully and calmly. If she can do it, you can do it. So that's Neti. You do the same thing on both sides. And again, away from meals. I was reading in one of my Ayurveda Today, magazines from the Ayurveda Institute. And there's a quote here. It says, "A medicine is one in which enters the body, balances the bodily humors, does not disturb the healthy tissue, does not adhere to them, and gets eliminating out through urine, sweat, and feces. It cures the disease, gives longevity to the bodily cells, and has no side effects." This is a quote from Charak, one of the great granddaddies of Ayurveda. So in closing, have a great spring. Get active early in the morning. Enjoy. And if you have some comments, list them below. And subscribe. Talk to you soon. Namaste. Aloha.